Daniel coming to you again here. We've already did a couple videos, explanation of Hapkido and some basic warm-up exercises. This was a continuation of the exercises. This one is basically working the joints because we're going to be doing a lot of throwing from the wrist. Remember, we attack the wrist, the fingers, the elbow, the shoulder. We attack the joints. This is a lot of the things that we do: neck breaking, shoulder dislocation, breaking the elbow, breaking the wrist, breaking the fingers, breaking the knee, breaking the ankle, dislocating the hip, internal damage. This is not a sport. This is a brutal self-defense, get down and dirty martial art. This one here is basically the 4 ways that the joint will lock as far as the wrist. Now, whenever you're doing this, you always want to maintain what we call a centerline principle. And a centerline principle is very important because this is a guiding line of where your opponent is. As long as I can maintain my centerline on my opponent and maintain his centerline off of me, he cannot hit me. He has to turn his center line towards me in order to attack me. Okay? Our ultimate goal is to get to a 45-degree angle to the side or actually get behind the individual. Even here in China, they do bagua, and basically it's to circumvent and get behind the individual. This is where all the strength is. The backside is where all the weakness is. And, if somebody comes up from behind you, you don't see them, and this is where we want to be in most of our fighting situations, and we'll get into all of this stuff here in a little bit. I will be able to make some other videos later. I need a couple of my assistants. I just came down here by myself today to do some of these videos and some introductions. But this one here is very important. The first one is, we call it 2-finger throw and twisting the wrist outward. Now, I like to do 2 or 3 things at the same time, not just exercising this and just twisting it. I want to be able to make some things happen internally, okay? So breathing and coordinating your breathing with your motion is very important. I always tell students, breath lasts as long as the motion lasts as long as the breath. So you want to coordinate your breathing with your movement and integrate them together so that they're coordinated together. Not breathing and then moving and then on breath. You want them exactly timed perfectly, okay? And I'm going to get into some Qigong and some breathing methods here in a couple other videos too that you can add to what you're doing. But this one's important because what I'm doing is I'm breathing in and I'm going to be torquing the wrist, but I'm going to maintain it on my center line, but I'm also going to do something else too. I'm going to practice my shifting of my weight to get out of the way so that all the weight becomes on my right side and my left side becomes empty. So I'm here, so I'm doing 3 things. I'm twisting, I'm breathing in at the same time, and I'm shifting at the same time. So I've got 3 actions going on at the same time. So I'm going to do 5 on one side, 5 on the other, so everybody gets an idea. Also, in the next video, I'm going to talk about the key finger and what that's all about and why that is important. But for this one, we just want to talk about the stretching of the wrist. And you have to do this in every one of your classes. Instructors, you must do this every Hapkido session, or else you're not going to be able to do these hard throws that are going to go on. They're going to complain about sore wrist. You have to develop the wrist. Also, I also tell students, once you do knuckle push-ups, palm in, palm out, palm this way, and then do them push-ups on your wrist this way to develop the strength in the wrist, okay? So for 1 here, we'll get 1, and I'm breathing in. And again, I'm moving on my center line. And 2, on the center line, and 3 on the center line, and 4 on the center line, and 5 on the center line. Now I'm going to do the other side. Do this to the pain is, take the pain Every day, a little bit more pain, a little bit more pain, so you develop a pain tolerance. This is very important. We had a sign at their first Hapkido school, and it said House of Pain. So Hapkido was pain. A lot of guys don't like doing Hapkido because it's painful. I've had a lot of Chinese, they can do all the wushu and jumping up and down, but the minute you start cranking on their wrist, they start crying like little babies, and they don't like it. So don't think that, a lot of them look good, but they can't fight. It's sad to say, but it's the truth. Okay, so from here, 1 and 2 and 3, breathing in and maintaining my center line, and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7. Okay, and shake them. Another exercise to do after these is what we call grabbing air. This way, we do usually 100, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20. We go up to 100, okay? And this is to strengthen the forearms and develop good, strong fingers. And it's real important in part of Hapkido because we want to have strong hands because that's what we're doing. We're throwing, we're using our hands, we're manipulating, okay? So 2 fingers stretch outward. The next one we call is an S-lock. This is where the thumb is down, the little finger is up. Again, this is on a center line, and this is making the letter S. This is very important technique because there's hundreds of techniques that are done from the S-lock position. When I grab, I want to make sure that I get up here by the little finger. There's the heart meridian, and I want to get in this little notch here so that I'm twisting in. It's almost like I'm trying to bring the fingers and touch to my nose. And again, I'm shifting the weight at the same time, and I'm twisting inward and pulling in at the same time. While I'm maintaining this, I'm like imagining trying to touch my little finger to my nose. And you'll feel that there's pain. And as I feel the pain, I start pulling it inward, and you'll feel more pain. And back, and then in. So again, 1, I'm breathing in, and back, and 2. And back, and 3, and back, and 4, and back, and 5. We'll do the other side. Okay, 1, and back, 2, and back, and 3, and back, and 4, and back, and then usually shake it right afterwards. Next one is just bending it backwards. Make sure the elbow is in, and I'm pushing backwards, again, shifting the weight to the same side. 1, and back, and I'm breathing in. 2, and back. 3, and back, and 4, and back. We'll do the other side. Again, 1, and back, and 2, and back, and 3, and back, and 4, and back. Again, shaking afterwards. You do this to make sure that everything goes back in its proper place. You have little channels where your ligaments and veins and tendons run into, and sometimes by stretching them, they come out of that little channel, and then when somebody moves, boom, they get hurt. So just by doing this, make sure that everything goes back to its original position. Okay, next one, elbow in, almost like a manus. Palm is on top of the wrist, and at the same time, I'm going to push my elbow in, push this elbow down, and compress, and do a compression on it for a downward stroke. Same time, shifting the weight to the side and breathing in. Okay, 1, breathing in, shifting, and 2, and 3, and 4. Okay, other side, again, top of the hand, whole palm of the hand on top, compressing down, breathing this in together. Okay, ready? 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. Okay, shake them. Okay, now here's a little exercise that we go on. We're just shaking the hands very loose. This is to get used to striking. A lot of people make a tight fist when they strike. The whole thing we call intrinsic energy is how relaxed you can be, to how tense you can be, to how relaxed you can be, and the distance and time that it takes to go that way. I always talk about this intrinsic energy. I sometimes mention the bodybuilder and the yoga player. Okay, yoga player can be 100% relaxed, but she can only become maybe 60% tense. The bodybuilder, he's always muscle bound. He's 100% tense, but only can become 60% relaxed. The yoga player is not as strong as the muscle person, but she has more of this intrinsic energy that goes back from total relaxation to total tense back again. Her range is much larger than the muscle man, the bodybuilder. Okay, so keeping a elongated, flexible body is very important for striking. You'll notice most of the boxers, most of these guys, some of the guys in MMA that are grapplers, they have, they're on the ground, they've got bulky muscles, but mostly the kickboxers you see and the guys that are boxers, they have long, cylindrical muscles, and they're very flexible. They're not muscle bound. They want to be quick and fast, okay? So this little exercise, I'm just here, you're just shaking, and it's shaking water off the end of your hand, doing a right, left, and doing about 10 of these. Okay, so that is that on here. Also, hands out, doing these, and doing 50 to 100 of these too. So this is to develop the forearms, develop the stretch and strength in the hands, so that your student can start doing these 2-finger throws, start doing inside-outside technique, and can really take a really good, strong wrist throw without worrying about injury. So again, stretching, twisting in, twisting out, twisting up, twisting down, shaking, releasing, up and down, this way, opening as wide as you can, and then grabbing air. These all should be coordinated together as one series of exercises. So you do these, you do this, you do this all together, back to back, and at the end they're like, oh, my hands are so heavy, they're so, my forearms are so weak, This is to develop this part of the hand so that when you're doing these techniques, such as a throwing, inside-outside technique, it can lack of injuries, and you have a better performing student. We'll see you on the next video. Like and subscribe. We'll see you soon.